morning, good afternoon, and good night. As King Brett usually says, he's not here to intro us, but I'm here, 3Ball34. I want to intro our usual guest, GWEX20. What up, Glenn?
What's going on, guys?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Glad you're here with us. And we got a special guest. Very excited about this gentleman. Inspired by Mamba is going to inspire us today, man. What's up, Josh? I'm so excited you're here.
Hey, how's it going? Glad to be here.
Yes, sir. Welcome. Yes, sir. Boston Celtics fan, but also a player, a fan as well that we're going to get into. The name gives it away, inspired by Mamba. We're definitely going to touch on Kobe for sure. But I know you're a big LeBron collector in NBATOPSHOT, and I can't wait to just break down things with you and talk about basketball and Top Shot together.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This is my debut kind of NBATOPSHOT podcast thing, so should be fun.
Very nice. So glad that you joined us today on episode 34 of the Collectin and Connectin podcast. Let's hang out and talk a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I could jump in real quick with some basketball stuff about Kobe.
There he is, pushing the basketball. Get it, Glenn.
Where does Kobe rank for you all time?
Whew, man, that's a hot seat question right there, man. I mean, to be
number one.
To be honest with you, in my household that I grew up in, like with my stepdad was really into basketball too. He kind of had me playing basketball and a lot of other sports too. But in our household, Kobe was ranked above Jordan. And I know people are gonna be like, that's crazy. But yeah, in our household, even like years ago, like back in 2007, 2008. Like we had Kobe above Jordan and everything. So I don't know. It's debatable. I mean, I never really put Kobe quite like that above Jordan, like my stepdad. But I'd probably say honestly, LeBron number 1, Kobe number 2, Jordan number 3. But I know that everyone's gonna hate me for that. But yeah,
that's not accurate. But that's okay.
I definitely had friends that in that time period were putting Kobe at the top, and it was hard to justify when maybe they weren't watching Jordan at the time. But given your age, I'm sure your stepdad was able to watch both in their primes, and so at least that's a big perspective coming from where you came from. That makes sense.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I always loved Kobe too. There were times where you could go back on my Facebook page and you could see days where when Kobe was going against the Celtics in the championship, I'm rooting for Kobe. Like, I've always kind of been a big player fan. I mean, I like the teams too, but I just like the best player, honestly.
I think I've been telling Glenn this for episodes now, that there's a lot of people like you out there right now that are NBA fans that follow players, and when they switch teams, they switch fandoms with that player because that's who they follow and who they watch every night. And I think it's more prevalent than ever. And with free agency and the way that players move around the league, it makes more sense that you're not a diehard team fan forever.
Yeah. I think once obviously it was horrible when Kobe passed away. When you saw. I didn't know that Jordan and him were so close. I didn't know that, Jordan considered him his little brother, and that I knew Kobe patented his game kind of after Jordan a little bit with the footwork and certain moves. And they both had that mentality where they didn't care if they were liked. They just wanted to win. Like, winning was everything. Outworking you was everything. It's just hard for me to put Kobe ahead of Jordan, just because of maybe the championships or whatnot. But it's funny too, because Kobe almost fell out of that conversation. It was always like LeBron and MJ.
Right.
And I feel like people now hope, they're bringing him back in a little more, like because they're remembering. But I love Kobe's mentality. If you had Kobe's mentality and LeBron's body, that's the best player ever. That's my opinion.
No, I agree.
As you can see behind me, I got the Nowitzki jersey back here, inspired by Mamba. And so 21 years with the same franchise. Him and Kobe had much respect for each other. And to see him 20 years with the Lakers, what a special legacy he has there. And like Glenn just said, people are remembering. Dude was a killer. Had a Mamba mentality, as everybody knows, and that instinct, as Glenn mentioned again, didn't matter if he was liked by even his own teammates. Dude wanted to win and was going to do whatever it takes to get there.
Right, and I'll just tell a story about how I even kind of came up with that name a little bit too. I was actually, you guys might have seen, but Ghana Mamba is my girlfriend, and we were in Ghana at the time when Kobe passed away. And I had, no lie, I had downloaded a bunch of like Kobe videos. Like I used to always watch like his like motivational talks and like those videos of him just like inspirational and motivational, just to be the best at what you do. And I had downloaded some of those videos. I use like the premium YouTube where you can download the videos. And so for the plane ride, like I had a bunch of videos downloaded like just to watch and stuff. I mean, all sorts of stuff, but I did have some Kobe motivational videos. And then it was like surreal because we flew over there to Ghana. And then while we're there, unfortunately the accident happened and Kobe passed away. And it was just like so surreal to me because I had the videos on my phone that I had downloaded to watch while I was there and on the plane and stuff while I didn't have internet. So it was just crazy, like that whole experience happening that way and everything. But I've always been, I mean, not just Kobe, there's a lot of athletes that I draw a lot of inspiration from, but Kobe was obviously at the top because just like you said, his mentality and everything.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the arguments I make with some of the folks in the C&C chat. They love LeBron.
You argue in the C&C chat? No way.
No, but on a serious note, Jordan and Kobe just didn't care. They didn't care if other teammates loved them. They didn't care if, the fans, I mean, the fans did love them because they loved to watch them, but I feel like LeBron just wants to be loved. LeBron doesn't want to ruffle feathers, and he wants to be friends with everyone in the league. And I feel like, while that's commendable and it's respectable, he's not going to snatch your heart out the same way that Jordan and Kobe would. They were just going at you. And there's all these stories about people talking trash to them when they had an off game, and then they came out and they're like, oh yeah, like they had that little inspiration, the little extra motivation. And then they decimated them in the second half. And you got teammates coming out talking about how hard it was to be teammates with Kobe and teammates with Jordan because they didn't have their approval and they didn't, respect them the same way. I mean, there's a lot of that. So I just think that the mentality of you just don't care and winning's everything is missing with LeBron. And that's part of the reason, in my opinion, that he's, 4-6 in the finals. I think that has to be held against him a little bit because you can't, how can the best player ever be 4-6 in the finals?
I mean, he did play against Kevin Durant and the Warriors for like what, 2 of those. So, I mean, that's tough.
Kerry in Cleveland, several of those as well. Take it easy, Glenn.
Oh, come on, man.
No, you make some points, but our guest here has a serious collection and has done some really cool stuff in Top Shot and around that area. You mentioned your girlfriend. You guys collect together. I see that she posts a lot as well as you post a lot. I think you even got your mother involved collecting some moments. Tell us about the family dynamic and you guys ripping packs talking about Top Shot.
Yeah, so it was funny. So her name is actually Sandra too. I mean, if Ghana Mamba or Sandra, she doesn't mind either way too. But she got started on Top Shot like the next day or 2 days after me. Like I started in like that peak February 2021 time, and I didn't even really like push it on her or anything. Like she just really wanted to just start doing it as well. We do a lot of things together. We do like martial arts together. We've been buying stocks, doing a lot of stuff together. So this is kind of like another thing that I was kind of trying. And then she played basketball in high school too. So she's like obviously familiar with, sports. She likes watching it and everything like that too. So she got in and she's definitely surpassed my expectations with how much she would get involved. And like, for example, with the Ethereum blockchain, like she knows how to use that and navigate that stuff even more better than I do. So like when I'm doing something with Ethereum, sometimes I just give her my phone. I'm just like, can you just do this for me? So
Smart girl. Hold on to that one. There you go.
Yeah. So I'm definitely very grateful that she's kind of like taken to it and genuinely liked it so much too. And yeah, with collecting, how she got that, the number 750, serial number 750, LeBron, the last minute of the finals, LeBron, And I didn't even think that was possible, but she had talked to the person that owned it and ended up trading for it and everything like that. So, like I said, she's definitely surpassed my expectations in terms of just getting into this whole thing. So I'm really excited about that and happy about that. As for my mom, she just kind of like got into it a little bit. Like I've been telling her over the past couple of years as I've been trading, collecting and looking at different stuff. She's seen how passionate and how excited I am about the stuff. So she was kind of curious about it a little bit, but like recently we found, a way for her to kind of get involved in terms of just funding floaty loans. Like I was talking to her about it and just talking to her about some of the percentages that I was paying other people. And, she pretty much figured, why not get involved herself and start earning passive income, off of my NFTs and stuff, since I'm already paying high interest to other people that I don't know on the internet. She figured why not get involved too. So
I don't want to interrupt you, but that's a great point there. There's a lot of us in C&C as well as around Top Shot that have not listed their moments for rent on Floaty. Can you explain a little bit talk to those of us that don't know anything about that?
Yeah, so they have the 3 options on Floaty. You can the marketplace where you can buy and sell, the rent where you can rent moments for challenges and stuff, and then the loan option where you can borrow against your NFTs to get extra money to use for pretty much whatever you want. I often use it to buy new moments, especially moments that are like a special serial or something like that, where it's kind of not necessarily time sensitive, but you want to get it before somebody else gets it, so it's kind of a little bit of a rush. So that's usually what I use, what I borrow money against my NFTs for. But I definitely think it's a use case for it that it's kind of untapped. And I think for the average person, right? Like you look at someone like my mom, she's not like she eventually she will, but right now she's not extremely excited about like collecting sports NFTs and everything. But like when you say to her, hey, you can earn passive income, she's like, okay, well, what's going on? Like, I want to learn more about that. So she got on board and she was really excited to do it. And I'm sure once I repay the loan and everything, she'll probably, use that money and the profits to continue funding more.
Very cool. Thanks for explaining that and telling us a little bit more about it, as well as your family involved. That's really cool.
And just a fun fact too, crazy enough, but my mom, she was actually fortunate enough to like get to meet Kobe a couple of times too. And she has, wow. I can't really talk about it too much, but she has some crazy Kobe stories about when he would come to Boston and everything. And just kind of his aurora and everything, and just how it was like being in the environment with him. And like, trying to think about without saying too much, but like, he was a very, very, cutthroat person, that Mamba mentality, even off the basketball court. And dealing with people and everything too. He was very selective about who he had in his circle and everything. So yeah, just a fun fact. I'm sure my mom on some other podcast down the line will probably tell some of those stories.
Maybe we can get her on here one day and let her tell us ourselves. Speaking of family, you've met some C&C family. I'd say about a year ago, this January, you maybe it was 2 years ago, played in the All-Star game that Pack Trip put on and met lots of C&C and Top Shot collectors that were there. Tell us a little bit about that experience. Glenn always likes to know if people can ball and what your experience is playing. So he definitely wants to know about your jump shot.
Yeah. No, I mean, that was amazing. I mean, shout out to Pack Trip for putting that together. My fellow Matto, because we're both from Massachusetts.
We love Pack Trip.
Yeah, no, he's the man, honestly. And it was funny because I met him in New York at the NFT NYC thing and how Top Shot had their event with Quavo and everything. And I hit it off with Pack Trip and just like, realized we both are from Mass and everything. And then, so yeah, when he was doing his event at the Hall of Fame in Mass in Springfield, I was like, I definitely got to come. And we talked about it and everything. And, I came to that. And that was amazing, honestly. I'm so like just grateful that he put that together because I was able to meet, MBL and Alexo and Steve Veerman and actually Jeb Bush and Clee Gaines and so many people. So that was just
so many Top Shot folks were there for sure. And I mean, if you missed it, I know we had Pack Drip on a long time ago to talk about it, but at the Naismith Hall of Fame, I got it rented out and they got to play on the court. I recorded it. It was awesome, dude.
Right. No, it was.
How many points did you have?
Yeah, there he goes. I knew it was coming.
So I got to tell you, I kind of came in at like after a certain point or whatever, but no, I was running kind of cold that day. Honestly, I can't even lie. I was running pretty cold. I took a few jump shots and just missed, but I was like, whatever. It was fun anyway. But I will say too, to Clegane's credit, he was putting up a lot of baskets. He kind of surprised me. I didn't know Clegane's could kind of ball like that. So he kind of had it going on that day. I mean, I definitely was a lot worse that day than I usually am. So that was kind of tough, but you got to roll with the punch.
You're not the first person
the
to
Jersey
say
folks have to show up. There's lots of courts around here, lots of basketball.
I know.
So I want an opportunity like that. We have to act like Kobe, right? When you said that you were just happy to be there and you're missing shots, I'm like, that's like LeBron in the finals, dude.
So I mean, Kobe, one of his first games, I'm pretty sure he did pretty bad too. He had to come back, So I always equate it to that. But yeah, I mean, even with LeBron, I mean, yeah, he missed some shots and everything, but he gets it done. I mean, whether it's passing, scoring, you know what I mean? Like, there's some knocks on LeBron, but I mean, to be honest, for me, and even why I put him up there in the GOAT is because in the GOAT status or maybe even the GOAT, it's just because of the consistency. Even though he lost some of those finals and everything, just getting to 11 finals or however finals he got to, 8 straight finals and everything. And
sure.
Again, I'm one of those people too. I do believe that the competition nowadays is a lot harder than it was in Michael Jordan's era. So I don't know if Jordan would have ended up getting, 6 rings if he came in the league in 2003 and was going up against the 73-9 Warriors plus Kevin Durant and stuff like that. But
Well, so I'll speak on that real quick. So if you want to say that the 2 times that he lost to Durant, the Warriors in the finals, you can say that, but then there's also 2 times he lost when he had the best team in the league with the Heat. He lost two of those finals. So how do you give him a pass for that? There's no way that they thought that the Spurs and the Mavs were going to win those series, and he lost to teams that were not supposed to beat him, is what I'm saying. So even if you added those 2 in, you said, oh, well, now he's 6-4. Now he's got as many championships as Jordan. Maybe you don't hold it against him that he made it 4 extra times and didn't win.
Right.
But,
yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I definitely I don't really hold it up against him. I mean, if you can get to 10 and win 6 or whatever, I mean, if you lost 4, I mean, at least you got there. I'm again, would you rather lose in the playoffs than lose in the finals? I think I'd rather lose in the finals.
Yeah, but even if you just compare championships, LeBron's behind Kobe, he's behind MJ as well, and he's played. That's the thing about MJ too, is MJ played, I don't know if it was 16 or 15 seasons total, and LeBron's at like 21, and he's had that many extra chances, and he's still, you know what I'm trying to say? Like that's the hard part.
I hear you, but it goes both ways too, because that LeBron with the consistency, right? Like, I mean, if he's year 21 and like it's like, I was just thinking about that recently. Like, can you imagine, like, if he gets to another finals or something like that? Like, it's like, you've been in the league for 22 years or 21, going on 22 years. And it's like, the fact that he's even still, like, so good is just mind-boggling to me. Like, that. So, yeah, I mean.
I'll give you that. LeBron is the most effective, like, older player. Like, he's the best, probably, was he 30, 38, 39? I don't even know.
Yeah, 38, I think, yeah.
So he's probably the best 38-year-old player that ever played in the NBA. I will give you that. I still don't, you know what I mean? Like, he's got some lifetime achievement things. Like
one concession from Glenn. All right, we made it. Hey,
he's played a long time. That's all.
I've been to a game that was minted as a moment, but I have not appeared in one yet. Have not had my Top Shot debut. Glenn, have you been in a moment yet?
I have not.
Yeah, we got to get one of those soon. Somebody with us has been in a moment, and I'm pretty sure he called his shot before on Twitter. Tell us about being in that S4 Brogdon Fresh Threads.
The Fresh Threads, yeah, Brogdon's first moment on the Celtics. That was really cool, honestly. That my mom actually had surprised me with tickets. My birthday is like October 20th, so usually the beginning of the season is like October 18th, 19th. So it's usually right around my birthday. So we kind of have a tradition. My mom and I will go to the game. So she surprised me with those seats, which were like right there, like pretty much like the Celtics bench was like right next to us. Like my mom, like she put her drink on the Celtics bench, which was crazy. Wow. But yeah, so we were right there and got the opportunity to get into a moment and everything. And yeah, that was magical. I'm very grateful for my mom for that one. And Yeah, I love that too. Just how, we're seeing collectors getting in moments and stuff like that. I think that's magical, and I hope to see more of that.
For sure. Me too. I think it's really cool to be able to find yourself and to be in there, minted in history forever. Just like it's cool to own the moment, it'd be great to be in one. So that's really cool to have that memory for sure. And mom sounds like a badass between all you're telling us so far. So that's really
cool. She is.
So Josh, what's your favorite thing about Top Shot?
My favorite thing about Top Shot, so I mean, I'm a big fan of like just technology, finance, and sports. So it's like it all kind of came together for me, honestly. But I mean, just the fact that they've invented a lot of the things that they're doing and everything, and they're leading the world, and what they're doing, and just creating these video NFTs, sports video NFTs, officially licensed and everything. I mean, that in itself, just the fact that, like I said, they're the market leader. They're the only ones with these sports, with these video NFTs for the NBA, NFL, UFC, and more. That's probably my favorite thing right there. That they have that proprietary, that proprietary software and technology that is enabling us to own these proprietary, assets. So I really love that and have a lot of respect for them. I know I give them stuff a lot. I give them as much feedback as I possibly can, but it all comes from a good place because I respect what they're doing and I want them to succeed.
Very cool.
That's great.
Yeah, we definitely see some of the most active collectors and the most positive people still giving constructive criticisms and feedback on the regular. So I think that's good that you're such an active member. So you mentioned the technology and being on that side. You're also have visited some card shows and met some collectors there. Talk about that.
Yeah, that was unreal too. I mean, and that's something I got to thank Top Shot for as well, because I mean, I collected basketball cards when I was like a little kid, and even that's funny because just now getting back into it. But yeah, if not for Top Shot, I wouldn't have gone to that card show. Most likely wouldn't have gone to that card show, or I've been to a couple now, and I plan to go to more. But yeah, that's been a lot of fun too. Between going to Gillette Stadium, going to card shows there, and just around Boston and stuff. It's been cool to kind of get into the card scene because of this, and just see so many similarities and ways to learn just based off the card market and stuff and how that works and everything. I think a lot of times people, in the Top Shot community, we're talking a lot about the floor prices and things like that, and we're like, oh well, this TSD of this great player is so cheap. I mean, it is, and it's hard to get excited about that, but at the card market too, like you can see Michael Jordan cards that are, really cheap as well. So I think there's a lot for us to learn about from the card market, and just about time too, right? Like some of the best cards, they've taken a long time to, accrue as much value as they've gained. So.
Yeah. And I hear as cheap as the MJ cards are, LeBron's quite a bit cheaper.
It is nonstop in Glenn's.
Dude, I honestly, like, on a serious note, LeBron's obviously awesome. And and it's like an opinion thing. It's just, I feel like some people that are arguing for LeBron are younger, and it's not their fault. But if you never were witnessing Jordan's prime, you're just going off of videos or The Last Dance and all that. And I feel like if you lived through, like, I feel like I lived through probably the second half of Jordan's prime as far as watching basketball. I didn't watch until about, 92, 93-ish. And then I watched all of Kobe and I've watched all of LeBron. So I do feel like in a way that I can speak on it a little differently than some other folks. And it doesn't mean they're wrong. It's just a different perspective, right?
Yeah, there's definitely a recency bias in people that missed Jordan and watched Kobe. And like Josh was saying, that they were thinking Kobe was the GOAT at the time just because that's who they were watching. And then now there's younger people that have only watched LeBron, and that's their GOAT as well. Not to be said that you had to witness all three to have an opinion, but you definitely can see those biases happen for sure.
Right. And to your point, I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, I was born in 1992 myself, so I couldn't have been watching Jordan in 92. But yeah, so, and even getting to see LeBron play in person, a couple of times too, and one at the Eastern Conference Finals in, 2017, game one, I was there, sitting with decent seats, got to see LeBron.
Wow.
And But also, I'll admit, from an emotional standpoint, I am a little bit biased with LeBron because when he came back from the Warriors 3-1 deficit, I actually had an Apple Watch bet on that essentially. So when he came back, I had the money bet on the whole series. So when he was down 3-1, I was pretty much prepared to just give it up. And when he came back, I was like, "Oh my God, LeBron! I love LeBron." After this, like, so after that hit me emotionally a little bit too. So I can admit that
emotional for you there for sure.
Yeah, and to be fair, that's probably his crowning moment as a player when he was down 3-1 against the Warriors and came back, and he was like a madman. He was just killing it. He played so well.
That put him on the map worldwide. Everybody recognized him. Not that they didn't recognize him, but they were definitely in that talk of dude as a GOAT based on that comeback. Because, I mean, it's just unbelievable. Not even a fan of either team watching that. It was emotional, and I didn't have an Apple Watch on it.
Yeah. And that was when the Apple Watch first came out, too. Like, it was like so new and everything. Like, literally, the Apple Watch was like, it was like getting shipped to me and whatnot. It was crazy. Like, but just funny story with that too. I got the Apple Watch. I won it in a raffle for free. That's why I even like bet it, because I was like, all right, whatever. But then that whole thing was like such an emotional roller coaster with that series and everything. But it was a lot of fun, and I credit that too with that Apple Watch too. Weirdly enough, like I sometimes wonder if I would have gotten as a Top Shot as heavily if not for that too, because that was like the most, even though it wasn't really money, that was like the most money that I had put on like just betting on a sports game at that time. I was like, a little younger at that time in my early 20s, but that kind of gave me the appetite to kind of like, either I was into sports betting a little bit too, but right before getting into Top Shot. So, everything kind of was in line with that a little bit.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Go ahead, Three Ball.
I was just going to say, let's shift gears to our three segments here. Do you have some follow-up real quick there, Glenn, or you want to start our next segment?
Yeah, this is called Name That Player. We got 3 Celtics for you, and you just have to look at the picture and hopefully you can remember the player that was on your squad that you love so much.
Name that player. Yeah. Inspired by Mamba. We've definitely been talking a lot of Lakers recent, but we know you're a Boston fan, and Glenn wanted to pick a few recent Celtics and see if we could test your fandom here a little bit. So name that player. No pressure.
I'm going to guess Derek White before it even comes.
No, it's not that recent.
Okay.
I'm going to go that easy on you.
All right. We are sharing.
But they're all like recent guys. I'm trying to think if they all have Top Shot moments.
That would help.
Yes, they do. I'm pretty sure.
I think they do.
Okay, yeah. Rondo. Oh, so this is a fun fact too. So my mom actually has a hair salon. She's done Rondo's sister's hair, so I've met Rondo's sister.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, but Rondo, I know Rondo. That's the easy one.
I know. I didn't know how. Three Ball's telling me to keep it easy on you. I'm like, all right.
Well, we don't want you to go over. We want to get you some breadcrumbs.
I got a Rondo legendary from Series 1 too. His finals legendary moment.
Nice.
Very cool. You got some.
I like Rondo a lot,
my man.
I like his game so much. Like when he was, on the Celtics and even with the Lakers, he was just so calm and in control of the whole offense.
Right. And then they tried to get Schroeder to kind of like do what he did, but it kind of wasn't the same,
Yeah.
Tough to beat Rondo, that fake behind the back and finish, man.
And Rondo played defense really well too.
He could do everything.
Yeah.
Name that player. Number 2.
Terry Rozier, yeah. Hey, I remember him.
Terry Rozier, 2 for 2.
He's on the Heat now, right?
For a while.
He is. I know he was on Charlotte for a little bit.
Yeah, I think he just got traded somewhere else.
To our earlier point about
he's on the Heat. Yeah, he's on the
moving
Heat.
around the league regularly.
Could you imagine? I was just saying recently though. Could you imagine if Terry Rozier was still there with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown?
I think you need another basketball.
That's true. But I mean, that was the thing. Like he left when I think he was going through that drama with Kyrie and everything because it was like there's not enough basketballs. But like now with Kyrie gone, I don't know. Maybe it could have worked. Who knows?
Sorry, we don't put Kyrie and drama in the same sentence here on Collectin and Connectin.
I know he's in Dallas now, right? So yeah. I got you.
All good.
He's never on my squad. Thank God.
Around. Take it easy, Glenn. All right. Name that player. Number 3. Knock this one out and go perfect. 3 for 3.
Avery Bradley. Yeah, I like that. He's a really good player, honestly.
He did it. Now, that's a defensive stud. That guy can guard.
Yeah. Well-rounded.
I believe from the University of Texas. Shout out to Torque. Very good.
I'm going harder.
Poo. Awesome. Congratulations, dude. 3 for 3. Knocked it out.
I was nervous after Jacob's episode, honestly.
Dude, Jacob's episode was fun. We meant to talk a ton of Top Shot, and dude's basketball brain, we just got into basketball. It was fantastic.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm happy that they got Jacob, somebody who knows so much about basketball over there at the top that's been there for a while and everything. He's definitely a great resource.
Yes, sir. To an earlier topic, we were talking about card shows, and you went. I saw a picture online that you ran into Andy Mack, the captain for the Boston Celtics, because he's wearing the Top Shot shirt.
Yes.
Really cool. Shout out to Andy Mack. He's also a C&C stud.
Yeah.
Very cool. So that was the first segment of C&C. Second segment is Sticky Icky Wiki. When we're researching and preparing for the episode, Wikipedia is a lot of times that we'll find different things about your team or your squad because of your name inspired by Mamba. Definitely went down the Kobe rabbit hole looking at different things there. So instead of your team this time, we'll focus in on the player. While researching Kobe, he was drafted directly to the NBA right from high school. And when we were, I don't know, early 2000s, it seemed like a lot of people were doing it. But in 1996, when he got drafted, the reason that he did and kind of paved the way was the year before. Anybody know who got drafted right out of high school in 95? Kevin Garnett, KG. KG was the first one to be drafted out of high school in over 20 years since Daryl Dawkins in 75. So it really hadn't been happening. KG gets drafted right after that. Kobe gets drafted right out of high school. And Jermaine O'Neal was with him in that same class. Both went to the NBA. And then we just see a number of folks get drafted right from high school, and a lot of them that probably shouldn't have. Anybody know what year they stopped and changed that rule to where you couldn't come straight from high school? Anybody got a guess or know it?
I'm gonna just guess 2011, but I don't know. Probably earlier.
What you got? 2015? No, that's way too late. 2006 is when they changed the rule. 2005 was the last year that there's like 6 or 7 guys straight from high school. I think it's a good rule change. What do you guys think?
I could kind of go either way on it, honestly, because yes, it is really risking everything, but look at LeBron, he made it work. Kobe made it work, so you could see it either way. I probably, if it were up to me, I probably wouldn't even have it.
Man, those are once in a generation guys. You're talking about that's the 1% of the 1%. Those guys. The rest of them aren't making it like that.
Well, you forgot T-Mac too.
Go ahead.
Tracy McGrady, yeah.
Tracy McGrady was out of high school.
Sure, I'm not saying
right?
There wasn't guys that worked. Definitely several on the list right after Kobe and KG that were definitely warranted. T-Mac being one for sure. But I just think, one, it makes the college product better by having those freshmen enter to play. And I know a lot of people – that's maybe not your thing. I don't even really watch it that much anymore, but shout out to Samuel D. in Badge County. Dude is obsessed with college basketball, and he believes that it gives him an upper hand of knowing the rookies coming into the league because he's gotten to watch a lot of them play already. Advanced scouting, if you will. And then the other option, it used to kind of be a negative connotation if you went overseas or you joined now the G League or I forget what they're calling it, where you have a year where you can go and not go to school and just play ball against other good professional players here in the States, or like I said, there's good leagues right across the water to be able to go play and sharpen your skills and keep things going just for 1 year and not waste your time at school or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I do kind of like that. I mean, yes, it doesn't work out for everybody. But you have to, everybody has to decide what's best for them. And just like they're deciding whether they're going to continue and go to all 3 or 4 years of college, you got to decide what's best for you. It's definitely not going to work out for everybody, but I kind of like the fact that, a kid can dream about doing that and kind of have that, like, even outside of sports, like, just like you think about like a Mark Zuckerberg or a Bill Gates, like, oh, I'm not going to college. I'm just going to go straight to do what I want to do. Like, I mean, imagine what would Kobe or LeBron's legacy or their careers look like had they not had those years of experience. We'll never know. But yeah.
Yeah, I got to account for the outliers. Shout out to Malcolm Gladwell. So either of you guys read that book? It's a pretty good one.
Yeah,
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, Malcolm Gladwell, Outliers. But Bill Gates and people like that are way ahead and shouldn't be held to the standard of rules of making you wait. If you're ready, go to it. So to your point, there's definitely going to be people that are ready.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's not. I don't know if it should be a rule, but I guess probably what was happening, a lot of the GMs were getting bad draft picks or guys that never matured. And the coaches were probably complaining that they didn't understand the basics or the fundamentals of certain plays and certain play styles. So that's the only thing I can think of why they would change that rule, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, and then and a lot of people are doing the one and done thing, and so yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It does kind of seem like kids now are, they need some time to mature and everything. I mean, looking at some other players and everything, there's issues. So, I mean, it's not a huge deal, but yeah.
Yeah, I think some of the guys that come in pretty quick, I mean, most rookies struggle anyway. But I guess what you don't want is some guy to come in and not ever have their career take off at all and be out of the league in 3 years, right?
Right.
I guess that's unavoidable.
Glenn, why don't you start our third segment and ask Josh a question about basketball?
Yeah, so whether it's being a fan in the crowd or your own personal basketball playing days, what is like a really great basketball memory that comes to mind that you'd like to share?
To be honest, I mean, I was an okay basketball player. I was pretty good, but I was a better football player than basketball player. So I'll just go to just as a fan sort of thing. But
what position in football did you play?
I played running back in football. Yeah, I played cornerback on defense and running back. So yeah, I was fast. Like I was actually captain of the track team in high school. So I was a fast runner and everything, can jump high, all that stuff. So
wow, it was well-rounded athlete. I love it.
Yeah, no, I definitely like sports. I do, like I said, martial arts now. So yeah, I'm always kind of staying active and doing something. But as a fan with the basketball, I'd probably say that same game that I was in the Top Shot moment, and not just because I was in the Top Shot moment, but because that was my first time like sitting like that close. It was like, right. It was my 30th birthday or the day before my 30th birthday. So like the last day of my 20s, it was just the atmosphere being like that close to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, like sitting right there on the bench next to me. And yeah, it was just kind of surreal. And I feel like it's almost one of those situations where once you kind of sit that close, it's like hard to go to the game and like not sit that close anymore. It's like, now it's like, I'll just come to games where I can do that, have that experience again. But yeah, that was just like, really surreal for me. And for the first time, yeah, it was just something I'll never forget.
You're either on the first row or VR helmet from now on. That's your only two options.
Right. No, I mean, and even that, I am kind of excited for that. I mean, I do have the Oculus Pro, which I got to get the newer one. But yeah, I'm excited for VR too, and hoping that they can really tie that in to the NBA viewing experience, and also hopefully one day Top Shot too.
For sure, I've definitely seen what it's supposed to look like as for sitting courtside and things, and I know that's advancing. So that'd be really cool to get that one day, as well as to be able to show off the Top Shot moments. That's always what we want to do in some form or fashion.
Right.
Yeah. And Josh, what's your favorite Top Shot set?
My favorite Top Shot set. Whew. I mean, it's between. I probably have to give it to the legendary final set from Series 1. I kind of like the sets that are like based off of like, I think I've tweeted about it before, but like the actual sort of things that the NBA kind of puts in place. So like, I like the All-Star set and the final set and sets that are kind of like, not just like kind of made up where like Dapper's just putting people in there just because they're choosing or whatever. So I kind of like those final sets because it's like every year, you're probably going to get, the finals. And that's what they're all there for. All the players are playing so that they can win a championship. So I kind of, I really like that, the final set. Between the finals and then the legendary one, I'd probably give it to the legendary one just because it's more rare, even though I've never completed it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I definitely like sets, and I'm looking long term of what set's going to be there in Series 20 or whatever it'll be named. And when you look back, starting in Series 1, they've had it every series consistently. I think that would be an important one to have, and especially Series 1 to have the first one. That's definitely historic. So very, very cool.
Yeah. I'm curious too. You guys might have shared it on the previous episodes, but what are you guys' favorite sets?
Go ahead, Glenn.
All right. So I really love video game numbers. I'm a gamer, not like a huge gamer, but I came up with like Sega, Nintendo, Genesis, Super Nintendo, all that stuff ever since I was little.
As you should.
Now, what's that?
As you should.
As I should. And now I get on with my friends. I'm 43 years old. I got a whole bunch of friends that are like low 40s. And after our kids go to bed, we jump online with our headsets and we'll play like COD, Warzone or something. And it's, we're yelling at each other. We're competing. We're trying to win. So I love video game numbers because it also shows the huge performances of the season. So if a guy has a really special game, to kind of archive that as history. Oh, wow, this guy scored 70 points or he had 50 points and 20 rebounds. And I would say real quick, my second favorite, should I do one more thing? Should I keep that going?
Keep it going.
Is the Origins set, because you have like a rookie Luka, you have a rookie Jokic, you have a rookie, Booker, SGA. You have all these guys that are kind of taken off in the faces of the league right now. They're all kind of perennial all-stars. And there's a rookie rare from them because there wasn't, they came in after, they were in before S1, right? So they don't really have the top shot, like the rookie moment.
Right.
So I think it's awesome that they went back and they handpicked the best players. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see if those rare, rookies hold up better than the top shot debuts. Because there's like a little debate there as to which one is more valuable, I think.
Yeah, and I'm interested in that debate too, and I'm very, very, very curious as well. I kind of like, at first I didn't really like the Top Shot debuts too much for the exact reason that you just said, because like I used to think like, well, do I want LeBron's Top Shot debut, but it's not really his like NBA like rookie debut sort of thing. But I've come to now respect the Top Shot debut to a large extent, because when you think about it, right, like if these video NFTs for the NBA came out in 2020, and so this is when all these debuts, in the first series. So yes, you can always go back, but like there's going to be so many things where you can go back. You know what I mean? Like you can go back to Jordan's rookie stuff. You can go back to anybody's rookie stuff. And then like, there's so many things that you can go back to. I kind of do like the thought that like, this is the first moment. And it is what it is. I mean, like they could make 200 more rookie LeBron moments. You know what I mean? Like in 20 years, they can make more rookie LeBron moments, but it's not like they can make more debuts.
Yeah, I think it's cool though that the starting in, I guess in S2 mostly, except for RJ Barrett in S1, they came out with the 4 badge moments. Yep. Which are, rookie Top Shot debuts and rookie moments, but they're also the first ever game that the person played in. So I don't think we can argue about those, right? Like that's pretty friggin' cool.
Right. Right. And that's another example of something really cool that Dapper Labs did invent and created. I think that kind of gets overlooked. Like that 4 badge rookie thing, that's pretty intense that they just created that. You know what I mean? And like it's kind of relevant. Like you could see how that could carry on. And even if God forbid another company was doing what Top Shot's doing, the fact that they're not going to have the 4 bad rookie moments for RJ Barrett and all the players that have come out before anybody else competes with them.
Yeah, and it's usually their first bucket or their first assist. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's a really awesome dunk. But the fact that you're archiving someone's first game with a play from their first ever pro debut, I mean, that's pretty wild.
Right. You can't do that ever again after that. And another fun fact, too, with the WNBA, I own the first one in the WNBA, serial number 1, Michaela Onyewere, my fellow Nigerian American. I had to grab her.
Very cool. Very cool. A couple things right there. Number 1, you mentioned a serial number of Michaela. That's a sick pull. You got that from a pack, or did you buy it?
So I actually bought it off the person that got it in the pack. So I bought it for them. I think it was like $1,200 like a year ago or a year and a half ago. That was my serial number 1, that I purchased.
Wow, number 1. Do you have any number 1 cereals, Glenn?
I do not right now. Nope.
I don't have any either, but let's break this down just for a second, because Josh has a few. NFL all day, you have a few. I saw OBJ and a couple others, and then you got some in Top Shot as well.
Yep.
Even as part of your more of your Nigerian collection, I think Andre Iguodala and OG Anunoby.
Yes. I mean, OG, I thought it was cool because it was the first round of the playoffs and everything. And so technically it's like his first, and what I like about the serial number 1s is, like, again, if they're minted in the order if the serial number is the order that they were minted, then the serial number 1 is like the first one created. Right. So in a way that, first round of OG serial number 1 is kind of like his first playoff video NFT.
Very first one. That's so badass, dude.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm a huge fan. I mean, just with the Nigerian players, I have a soft spot for them. So like, I typically, I like to buy the things that I think are going to do well. But so with some of the Nigerian players, those are some of the things that I just bought just for my own personal, collection, and just to feel good about it and to brag about it to other Nigerians.
Bragging rights, I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. You can collect it however you want. There's moments that are valuable, so you collect them. But then, like you said, you have a special soft spot in your heart for people that made it into professional sports from your home country, and it means something to you. It's pride. I think that's awesome.
Right, and the fact that both OG and Andre Iguodala, they both have won championships. That's big for me too. Like, if you won a championship, it's a little, because for me, I feel like, again, that's like the end goal, and I feel like once you win the championship, you're like kind of solidified in the history books a little bit. So with OG and Andre Iguodala, those were 2. And then with the Michaela, she won the Rookie of the Year. And so I don't know if you guys saw it, but today I actually bought another serial number 1. It's the Ja Morant, the steal from Series 1, because he was the Rookie of the Year in Series 1.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so he's got 2 versions of the steal, the with the strip and then the base. I just bought the serial number 1 of his base today.
What a stud. Congrats, man.
Yeah.
So he's got some number 1s, Glenn. That's crazy, man.
Well, the Knicks got OG right now, so I feel pretty special, and hopefully he can get another ring with the Knicks. We'll see.
So we both are rooting for OG hardcore right now. So if he wins the championship again, I'm going to be happy. And then obviously with the Knicks for you, you're going to be happy.
Yep, they haven't won a championship in my lifetime. I watched the finals live when Starks went 2 for 18 against the Rockets when the Knicks were up 3-2. And then obviously in, I think it was 99-2000 season, they lost to the Spurs, but the Spurs were a better team that year. The Knicks really didn't have a chance.
And I think Starks was actually at the NYC NFT event, like in Top Shot's event. I think he was one of the people that was like, there was a long line to like get an autograph. And then like halfway through, he was just like, all right, I'm done. So I didn't get an autograph. But I think I'm pretty sure he was the one that was there too.
Yeah. No, I love Starks as a player. That performance kind of buried them that year. But,
yeah, Josh, I'm jealous of several things. You mentioned being at Top Shot Takeover, and I think that's the first time I saw you on Twitter, was you posting pictures in front of the stage, and I think that's the first time that we connected. It's been a minute since then, for sure. But you've been able to do a lot of cool things, and you mentioned the number 1 serial of Michaela. you went somewhere with the wife, I believe at Harvard, and you ran into a couple of folks that you showed that number one Michaela to. Can you talk about that?
Yes, I mean that was just a really cool experience with about just looking at how NFTs can kind of impact your life in real life too. Like we all in the community, we're talking about utility a lot and things like that. But yeah, I got to meet the WNBA commissioner at Harvard, and
wow.
Yeah, and so it was just crazy to actually be able to show her the Michaela. I was like, telling her I have the first Rookie of the Year video NFT serial number 1 for the WNBA. And when I showed her, she's like, "Oh wow, Michaela, we got to hit it off and talk about that and everything." And it was really like one of those moments where you realize that if you have a really good NFT, not all of them, but if you have a really good one, sometimes it can really like add a layer of utility in your real life. Like whether you're meeting somebody or like just different times, like I've been able to leverage some just not from a money standpoint, from a financial standpoint, but just from a connecting standpoint and from a friendship standpoint, or just like other areas of life. So that was really cool. And I got to meet Rose Go on Woo Day too, who's a Top Shot collector and everything. So that was pretty surreal, honestly. Like just and Sandra, she was just so excited to meet Rose. That was cool. And the commissioner as well. Sandra, she was like, "Let's go up there, let's get a picture with them," everything like that. So she was the one who kind of nudged me. But after she did, I was so happy she did.
That's awesome. Yeah, those are two great meet and greets. And I bet Sandra was excited because everybody loves Rose. She's doing an awesome job.
Yeah, and actually another person who was there who I got to meet and tell him about, not tell him about because he knew about it, but talk to him about Top Shot was the COO of the NBA. His first name is slipping my mind right now, but his last name is Tatum, so you can't forget that as a Bostonian. But yeah, he's the COO of the NBA. So if everyone just Googles that, you'll find him. But it was crazy to talk to him about it and everything, and even bringing back the floaty piece and the loans, like just to have him, because he knew about Top Shot and everything. He thought it was cool that I was a collector, and having all these moments. But just explaining to him, and I don't think he fully realized it yet. Like I think me saying it to him made him realize it, but having him realize that, like through the NBA NFTs with Top Shot and everything, and with floaty, people are earning passive income with NBA assets. I think everyone has to like take a minute to actually realize that like people are earning passive income with NBA assets, digital NBA assets. He kind of like
all I've heard about is passive income and how to get passive income, and so now you're able to do that with NBA merchandise. That's really cool.
It sounds too good to be true, honestly. So I understand why it's like taking some time for like more people to like get on it, because yes, people are making the money. Like, I'm paying a lot of money and interest all the time happily, it's all working out. But it definitely is one of those things that sounds too good to be true, but it's happening and it's going to continue to grow. And I know the COO of the NBA, Tatum, there, he was really excited. And it was funny because the event was so long. Like the event was like hours long. It was a whole conference. And so I was there with him the whole day, and like we became cool by like the end of the day. Like we're like, "Oh, what's up?" And I had got something funded on floaty, and I like went up to him and I showed him. I'm like, "Look, I just got something funded. Like I just raised money with one of my NBA NFTs," and he's just like blown away. So I was just, encouraging him to continue to, enhance that partnership with Top Shot as much as I could, because, I'm extremely bullish on that.
That's so cool. And Glenn, it sounds like we need to get up to the Northeast and visit Josh and go hang out at Harvard for a little bit, because he's rubbing elbows with some studs up there.
Yeah. Next time there's something, I'll let you guys know. Next time there's something going on.
That's awesome. Well, before we let you go, I don't think it was a moment, but I definitely saw you pop up in another highlight here recently at a game that you went to. And I think you affected an outcome. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that was kind of surreal too. Again, my mom kind of, came through with the tickets for that, and right around my birthday. And this time I went with Sandra, and it was her first time sitting that close. So she was really excited. She loved it. She had the time of her life. But yeah, it was on the fast break, and I think it was Derek White and Jimmy Butler was coming down for the layup on a fast break sort of thing. And I was like sitting right there, and like you can go on YouTube and watch it. And I'm like waving my arms or whatever, and then Derek White ends up blocking Jimmy Butler's layup attempt with a chase down block. And I like to think that I distracted Jimmy like for like half a second, because I'm like, you could see me waving and everything. So I like to think that I helped distract him for half a second and help put the Celtics on this 20-game home court, record-setting spree that they went on by helping them win that first game there. So yeah, that was a lot of fun, and hopefully that ends up in a moment. If it's not now, but maybe in the future, they could always do a run it back sort of thing.
For sure. I was dying. Glenn, it's great. You should see, if you're listening to this, Jimmy Butler is basically on a breakaway, wide open for a layup. And you can see Josh just putting the field goal, it's good, hands up. And Jimmy probably got a little distracted with the chase down block. Shout out to Derek White again in this episode.
Well, that was a really fun game.
Very cool.
Josh, are you going to guarantee a Celtics championship this year?
Honestly, I think we have a really, really, really good shot. Honestly, I don't want to guarantee it, but this is our year. Honestly, this really feels like our year. Like everything's really come together. And I always wanted to be on a year where I went to the season opener so that I could say, yeah, I was at the season opener the year that we won it all. So I really am rooting for us. I mean, between Tatum, Brown, the guy, some of my mind right now, that tall guy that we got, the 7-footer.
Never heard of him.
Porzingis,
thank you. Porzingis.
He was on all 3 of our teams, by the way.
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely made the rounds.
Yeah, so I'm really hoping we can do it this year. Honestly, to be honest, I think
is going to love to hear this. He's proclaiming the championship this year. You need to get to a finals game too, so you can bookend season opener and finals on the year that you won it. Seriously. I mean, if we get to the finals, the person that we use for the connections for the tickets, I'll definitely be hitting him up definitely for that. So yeah, that'll be good. And but we got to get through. Milwaukee's going to be tough, and who knows? I mean, the Knicks might give us. I don't think they're going to beat us, but they might take a game or two.
We'll see how it goes. They're on a run right now. We'll see. And Randall went down, but
yeah,
they'll be back. Actually, I saw the news. He's only going to be out measured in weeks instead of months was the tweet. So that was pretty good.
Yeah, between them and Embiid and Philadelphia, it's going to be a really exciting playoffs. I always like the playoffs, but I'm super excited for this year's NBA playoffs.
The East is fun right now. There's a lot of contenders and a lot of good teams, so it should be fun down the stretch.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Before we let you guys go, wanted to give a shout out to our C&C crew. We did just release the new merch website, and you can get there at collectinandconnectin.com. You're seeing this video hopefully on YouTube, and you can definitely find us on all the socials, Instagram and Twitter or X. Appreciate all you guys watching out there. Josh, Glenn, any parting thoughts before we get out of here?
Go ahead, Glenn.
No, go ahead, Josh. You're the guest.
Oh, okay. No, I was just going to say, yeah, thanks for having me. I like what you guys are doing. Shout out to Treat a Kiss, Collectin and Connectin and everything, spreading those good vibes and everything. And I'm looking forward to, other podcasts, maybe coming back on later on and stuff. I had a great time.
Awesome. I think we should try to get MJ's The Real Goat shirt in the C&C store over there.
That's funny.
It never ends. Glenn definitely could argue that for a full another episode. So we'll definitely have to have you back. Thank you so much for joining us. And this was fun, just talking basketball and hanging out, talking Top Shot as well. Collecting and connecting together, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Hopefully we get to play basketball sometime.
Yeah, definitely.
I think what y'all did, what Pac Drip did with the All-Star game for Top Shot collectors and whatnot at the Hall of Fame, something similar at another cool place to get everybody together, maybe C&C Con someday to play ball and just kind of hang out would be so much fun. So we definitely need to organize something like that, Glenn.
Let's do it.
Yes, sir. Inspired by Mamba. Appreciate you being here, buddy. This was such a great episode. Keep collecting and connecting everybody out there, and we'll see you guys next time.
Well, do great.
See ya. Peace, love, and queso for King Brad.